We're back on the couch with Casey and joined with Gargoyles defenseman Artyom Borshyov. Borsh, welcome, my friend, inside the arcade room here, and your time to shine.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, let's dive into your backstory. And for the fans who don't know, you're from Belarus. You came all the way across to North America. You moved away when you were 15 years old?
Yeah, so at first, when I was 15, I moved to a different city in Belarus, which was around like 3 hours away. The city called Minsk. I'm originally from Vitebsk. Being a 15-year-old in a different city by yourself, you got to learn fast. I was still in high school, living by myself, so kind of gave me a little understanding of what is in my future if I want to move away and play in a different country. And then after that year, I had an opportunity to come to the United States. I decided to take it. I know it was hard for my parents because I'm an only child, but I'm very proud of them for letting me go and letting me chase my dreams. When I was 16, I went to North America. I came to, my first flight was to Boston, Massachusetts, and I played my first year there. I played AAA hockey for Springfield Picks there, and, first year being a 16-year-old kid in a completely different continent, a completely different country, completely different language. It was a little bit crazy, but the coaches helped me a lot. My billet family helped me a lot, and I knew English pretty well to start, but I couldn't really keep the dialogue going. It was more of especially the slang words. I didn't really get them at first. Sarcasm, it was new to me, but slowly but surely. I kept going, just stuck with it. And, next year I was coming back to play junior hockey with Northern Cyclones in New Hampshire. I still train there all the summers. Their owner, Bill Flanagan, always helps me. I still stay at his house during the summers. I work out in his gym. I skate. We had a good pro group going on in the summers. So I'm very glad that I ended up playing there for 2 years. Played in the USHL for Youngstown and Tri-City, and then finally ended up going to school at Lake Superior State University. So, yeah, it was quite a journey.
Well, he's one of our Russian speakers, and we'll get to that later on. He's going to teach me a little bit of Russian on the back end of this.
I'll try.
And lives with Ruslan Ajayev. He's our translator for the new guy and teaching him English as well. Actually, he's picked up pretty quick, so a lot of credit to you. But talk about that transition, and you're still living far away from your family. They're still back in Europe, and how were you able to adjust it, and how do you keep in touch with them while you're over here?
It was hard, especially with the different hours. Right now, they're 8 hours ahead of us. If we practice in the morning, I got to run home and call them as fast as I can. I mean, obviously, right now it's easy with the FaceTime and, internet. You can text all the time as you want, so that helps a lot. But I couldn't imagine doing that back in the day where you can possibly find one payphone and try to call him once a year. I don't even know if that would work. So I'm definitely in a better position right now in order to do that. And my parents are very flexible, and they were always on my side. No matter what I needed, they would give the last thing they had to me, and I'm incredibly grateful for them.
You went the NCAA route. You're a rookie here. Your first year as a professional. You played a little bit last year under head coach Scott Burt, now come to Greensboro with him. But talk a little bit about the transition and playing in the NCAA and now to professional and the development process, what you've seen and the differences, and kind of how that prepared you as well.
Well, playing in the NCAA takes you a little bit longer to come and finally play professional hockey. It's always been my goal to play professional hockey. And I couldn't pass on the education because my parents were always big on the education. And when I had an opportunity, I felt like it was a must for me to take it. And I'm very glad that I took that route. But coming here and playing my first year of pro hockey, like you said, I played some games last year. Definitely prepared me to understand what I need to do to become a better player and more consistent player on a regular basis, because there's so many more games in pro hockey than in college. This year, it's all about getting my body ready to play and give it 110% every night that I can.
For those who follow our Word of the Day segment, I learned pretty quickly not to mess with the academic weapon that is Artyom Borshyov. He came up with a word that I don't even know had enough letters to fit on a transcript. Borsh, your hockey play style, describe your favorite parts of what you bring to the ice and what you're working on here in your first season as a pro.
I think what probably going to separate me is my compete. I could not have the best hands one day, or I could not have my best shot one day, but I will always compete. My point of view, it's always been, one of my coaches told me early in my career, where you have to find a way to impact the game. So doesn't matter what day it is. Like I said, you might not have your best skating legs, or might not have your best hands, or etc. But you got to find a way to impact your game and help the team to win. So I think that's me right there.
Well, as we promised, we'll close off this episode with a little bit of world language, and teach me a go-to phrase that I can use when I walk into the locker room in Russian.
I think you should say "давай, давай."
Davai, davai, and that means
Let's go, let's go.
let's go, and let's go Gargoyles. Borsh, thanks for joining us here on the couch with Casey.
Thank you for having me.